Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Faces of First Year, brought to you by Pima Community College's First Year Experience Program. For those who I have not yet met, my name is Renee Forsyth. My pronouns are she and her, and I lead the FYE program at Pima Community College. And our goal is to connect Pima's new students with the resources, the programs, and the people that are especially important for you to know about. And so this fall semester, we have been featuring different student workers around Pima Community College. And in this episode, we are going to be talking with Pima's peer mentors. This is actually a position that several different departments and areas host. And so we have some fabulous peer mentors who are joining us today to introduce themselves, tell you who they are, and what they do. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Frances. Tell us who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Frances. I'm a peer mentor with the First Year Experience Program, and I've been a peer mentor with FYE for over a year now.
And then, hi, my name is Audrey, and I'm a peer mentor for student services at East Campus, and I started in August.
Awesome. So we'll be talking a little bit about it here throughout the podcast, but there's peer mentors is a position that's offered and used in several different departments around the college. So the first year experience program and student services, also student life, and a few other areas as well. So we'll be talking about what your experiences with your different departments, what are some common themes, and all, but let's dig into it. Frances, tell me, if you were to describe what your job is like as a peer mentor for FYE, what would you say?
My job as a peer mentor for FYE is to help students in their first year or first 30 credits get connected with the college and the community, and also just help them when they need a shoulder to cry on, maybe a little bit of advice on a more personal level, or even just some guidance.
Yeah. What does a day in the life look like for you? What are some like typical tasks that you do as a peer mentor?
Yeah, for sure. So I am also technically a teacher's assistant for the Connect You orientation D2L course. So I typically respond to those discussion posts that students submit. I also go through and review the shared inbox that we have and do other mentor tasks like creating reels, trying to get some more exposure to the different events that we have around campus as well.
Yeah, for sure. Audrey, same question to you. If you were to describe what your job is as a peer mentor, what would you say?
So, day to day, you will probably find me at the Student Services Center. So, for East Campus, it's right in front of the makerspace. And what I usually do day to day is help people set up appointments to meet advisors. So whether that be financial or enrollment advisors. And then some other activities I do too is help with applying to Pima. So we have some computers at the center that you can use to handle any college related business. So
And then I know that for peer mentors in student life, oftentimes they're the ones who welcome students to those student life centers, get them checked in, whether they're just there to hang out or attend the different events. They are oftentimes the extra hands at those events for setup and facilitation. And a common theme that I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, but you all are kind of that front face, that first starting point to greet students in those different areas. Would you agree, or do you have a different perspective?
I definitely agree.
me too.
Awesome. So, kind of along those lines, I usually like to ask the metaphor question just to kind of help better explain what your jobs are like. So, I'm curious, if you were to describe being a peer mentor as if it were some piece of technology, what would it be and why? Frances, I'm going to start with you. What would the tech be?
I would say being a peer mentor with the first year experience program is like being a Google. You can come to us with any questions that you have. Usually we have the answer for it, but if we don't, then we escalate it to find that answer for you.
Audrey, same question. What tech would you describe being a peer mentor is like?
It would be like a GPS app. So we help students navigate through college life and assist them in directions if they need so, or reroute them to a different resource. So I think that's the best way for me to describe it.
Those are great examples. I'm imagining like the Waze app and the different also like voiceovers that you all can have as
Yeah.
you help them guide them to where they need to go. That's fun. That's very cool. All right. So sometimes there are myths or stigmas around, like in general, just asking for help, but also working with different programs or resources. So I'm curious, Audrey, if what is a myth or a stigma about peer mentors that you want to debunk?
I would say that you don't need to have a big problem to reach out to any of the peer mentors. It could be something really minute, like looking for a new class that you haven't familiarized yourself with, or what tutoring services there are in each campus. It could be really little things. And so I would hope that people feel welcome enough to ask, even if it feels redundant.
Yeah. Frances, anything you would add? Any myths or stigmas you want to debunk?
I think she kind of covered it.
I
Don't
love
be
it.
shy. We're very welcome and we're here to help you.
All right, so then follow-up question, Frances. When should students start talking and working with peer mentors?
I think students should start working with their mentors probably even before they even start going to school, but specifically when they're in the beginning of the semester. Maybe they're having trouble navigating their classes, maybe they're trying to find more information on different resources, they want to get more engaged around the campus itself. I think connecting with your mentors can help you find the answers to all of those. So I definitely recommend it, whether it's, your first time at Pima or you've been at Pima for 2 years, maybe even more. I don't think it's a bad idea to reach out to your mentors and see what kind of support they can offer.
Yeah. To me, I almost think it's like anytime, going back to like the GPS analogy, any time that you're starting to feel off course or like lost in the woods, to me, that's a signal and an indicator of get connected. Go talk to a peer mentor in any of the areas, whether it's student services, FYE, student life, so they can help get you back on course. But I know sometimes, okay, going back to myths to debunk, sometimes people think, oh, I'm beyond my first year at Pima, so I can't take advantage of the peer mentors that are in that program. And that's not the case. Yes, new students are our particular target audience, but you all are available to support any student anytime they need that connection. And I know the same is true for student services. Maybe you're beyond that admissions application, but a student has questions about how do I get hold of my advisor? Who is my advisor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so I'm curious, where are peer mentors located? So, Audrey, for student services, if a person were to walk into any student service center, where would they find peer mentors working?
So you would usually find them either at the student life, which is a little building by campus police at the East Campus, but you will also likely find them in the self-help computers area or just at the welcome desk. So the front desk where you check in and let people know that you're here for an appointment or you're here for to create an appointment.
Yeah, those are some great examples for East Campus's orientations. And yeah, I think, like you said, college-wide, any of those welcome desks, self-service areas in the student service centers, or like you mentioned, the various student life offices. Awesome. Frances, where can folks find FYE peer mentors?
Our home base is at the West Campus, and we're usually located in AG 19, but our events are college-wide. So even if you don't go to the West Campus, you can find us at the East Campus, Northwest, Desert Vista, even downtown.
Beautiful. Now, in the video description of this, I'm going to have some links shared and available for everyone to go follow and dig into some other sites. But on the Pima website for student services, if you were to go to the student resources advising page, that's where you could find more about who and where the student service centers are located to connect with those particular peer mentors. Also, under student resources within the student activities subsection, that's where you all can find where the student life centers are located to connect with those peer mentors. And then for the first year experience program, if you were to go to Pima.edu/FYE, that's where you could find all of the information to connect with the FYE peer mentors. Frances, and specifically for FYE, where are some other social media sites, or tell us about Pima Engage? Give us more info on that.
Yeah, so you can actually find us on social media. We have Instagram, X, Pinterest, Facebook, and even our YouTube, as you know. So for Instagram, X, and Pinterest, our username is at Pima FYE. And then for Facebook, it's PCC FYE. And then you can also find us on the Pima website just by typing in Pima.edu/FYE.
Mhm. And like it was mentioned earlier, oftentimes peer mentors assist with different events. So maybe it's an FYE event like orientation or career cafe, or a student life event like Jade or the Lead Retreat, or even with student services, maybe it's those Super Saturday events, all of which are promoted through Pima Engage. And so again, that is going to be linked up above in the video description. But that's another way that where you can find and meet and connect with the peer mentors. So for a full list of all of the activities and events at Pima Community College, make sure that you go to pima.edu/engage. All right, so I was always the student who wanted to know, why does this matter? Why should I care? And why does this matter not only to me, but to you? And so I want to know, why do you feel like being a peer mentor is an important resource for students to connect with? I'll start with Frances.
I feel like having a mentor is really useful, especially in your first year. When I was going through my first year, I felt very lost and I felt like I couldn't find the answers to everything I needed. I didn't have guidance, I didn't have anyone to talk to about it. So I felt very isolated and just unmotivated overall. So I feel like being a mentor means so much to me because I can help those students who feel the way that I once felt and help them navigate it so that they can keep going on their educational, path.
Mhm. Audrey, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with Francis. So I'm an international student, and so when I first joined PIBA, it was very daunting. I didn't know how to fulfill my checklist or anything to do with my PIMA. And so it's really nice to be on the other side of that now and be able to help students navigate through PIMA. And yeah, I think what I like about the job too is I have access to a lot of good advice from my supervisors or advisors. And so it's really nice to ask them a quick question and then they'll usually give me a bunch of resources to answer that. So
Yeah. To follow up on and piggyback off of that, since the theme for this semester was student jobs, what do you like about this job and why would you recommend others to maybe apply and do it? Audrey, will continue with you.
yeah, I think this job has helped me build confidence in navigating through, my first 2 years of college. And um, I like being connected with the campus because you're kind of in a position where you talk to a lot of people all the time. So you gain a lot of insight. So what each particular class may be like or how that teacher functions, and even just little things like um, navigating through the campus and finding where, what's going on at student life. Do they have an event for Halloween like they did last week? So it's just really fun to feel like I'm in I'm part of a community and it's very intimate. So I like that a lot.
Frances, same question.
Agree, 1,000%. It helped me build up my confidence so much. Just not even just like within myself, but also just in this community. There's such a big community at Pima, and it's really nice to feel like I'm a part of something that matters and helping those students, helping the faculty and staff. It's really nice. It's a good community, and I love that with just this job, you are a student first. So I don't have to prioritize my classes around my work schedule. I am able to go to my classes and my work is very flexible with my school schedule. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So for anyone who is interested, if you are wanting to apply to work as a peer mentor, you can find those job opportunities on Pima's career page. And so again, I will have that direct linked above in the, or maybe it's below in production. It'll be in the video summary. But also if you go to the Pima website, Pima.edu, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on careers. And then when it says search for jobs, you're going to want to drill that down to temporary jobs because this is what's considered a temporary position. And there's actually some open positions right now as we speak, November 1st, 2024. But also the different areas that use peer mentors, they are usually hiring throughout different phases of the year. So I always tell students, check out that jobs page, see what's open. Usually some of the eligibility requirements will be that you are at least a part-time student at Pima, if not taken a full-time load, and that you are in good standing. You have no code of conduct violations. And then the different areas, as you heard, some of the different responsibilities are the same as far as being that front face, connecting students. And then some other tasks and duties will vary depending on the area that you are applying to work. And what I like as far as being a supervisor for peer mentors is that it's an opportunity where maybe you haven't had a lot of job experience so far. It's a great way to build those professional skills to then prepare you for life beyond Pima. Because when you graduate, we want you to not only be academically ready, but also professionally and personally ready to go out and conquer the world and achieve your goals. Uh, Also, I love getting to witness what I call the magic that happens between our students and the peer mentors. Because when the advice comes from a fellow student who's been there, done that, walked in the same shoes, it clicks. And there's something that's so special about the service that you all are able to provide our students. So I want to thank you for that. Anything else you want to share, final words about being a peer mentor at Pima?
I would just say that you are so right. The experience that I have gotten from this job is unlike anything I'd be able to get anywhere else. So thank you.
I agree. And also shout out to the East Campus team. I really appreciate you all as supervisors, and you've been so kind and so welcoming as I start my first few months as a peer mentor. So
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you both Audrey and Frances for joining me for this chance to share with others what you all do as peer mentors and what they could potentially do working in the same job at Pima. You all know the drill. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up. Click that bell to get notifications about when we have other podcasts coming to you live. Our spring schedule will be announced and plugged in soon, but for all those details, go to pima.edu/engage. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, take care and keep striving.